to my live stream. We're going live just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. Let me get my creep on. Let me get my creep on. Get your creep on like Diddy. Getting your creep on. Being live because there ain't shit to do. And there's nothing on the tube, on YouTube or otherwise. We're gonna get a creep on. Getting your creep on. Getting your creep on. It's living creepy. He's a creep. Getting his creep on. Getting his creep on. Yo, I'm getting my creep on. Get your creep on, people. You know how it is. You know how it's late at night and you want to get your creep on. You get your baby oil ready. You know, you get your Diddy songs, Won't Stop, Can't Stop, ready to get your creep on with your baby oil. Make sure it's Johnson & Johnson's. That's the best baby oil you can use. And then you're ready to get your creep on. Yeah, you got to get like Diddy. Diddy had it right. Diddy had it right. Diddy taught you how to do it. Diddy, it's yes to Diddy. Yes to Diddy. Like, we're going to find out what Diddy did wrong. We are going to learn what Diddy did wrong, right? What did Diddy do wrong? Well, he went to jail for something. He did something wrong. He did something wrong. What do people assume? We don't know. Actually, let's. I'll look quickly here in Chat GPT. Screen cleaner. You can use these on your glasses. I have some other screen cleaners, so I always have stuff. Explain the Diddy case. I don't know a lot about the Diddy case. I'm going to look at Chat GPT right now at the Diddy case. There was something that was dismissed, right? Like one of the accusations of rape. I'm assuming, you know, they have something federal on him. And if it's federal, it has something to do more with sex trafficking. So it's something to do with the prostitution and moving victims over state lines and or money laundering or the money thing. Let's get my intellectual tape. There isn't a lot of intellect to go there, right? Let's look at what is entailed and let me look right here, guys. Let me look. We're going to talk. You know, one thing is like, hey, like I agree with Dave Chappelle. Like, who really needs that much baby oil, right? Even a black person doesn't need that much baby oil or lotion. Like the dude had like multiple life supplies of baby lotion. Like you could use a lot of baby lotion, but you can't use that many bottles of baby lotion. I don't care who you are. So I've been using Chat GPT for almost everything, guys. I mean, people, I've been using it for tags. What are P. Diddy's? But I've been using AI. I've been using Canva to create things. Okay, so he has serious legal challenges. It says he was federally indicted on charges including sex trafficking, by force, right? That's got to be the main one, and transportation for purposes of prostitution, right? That's the only way he gets a federal charge. If it was rape, it doesn't need to be federal, right? Rape is a charge they could have. But he has allegations, but was not charged with racketeering, right? That's could be happening soon. Coercing individuals into sexual activities, forced labor, kidnapping, and other illicit acts. But he's only so far, from what I could tell, has been charged with the transportation for prosecution. So he's got a lot of civil lawsuits, but those civil lawsuits don't entail guilt. Like we've had Conor McGregor have civil lawsuits. Donald Trump had civil lawsuits. John Jones in the MMA sphere has civil lawsuits. Maybe Rampage Jackson has had civil lawsuits, considering he almost ran over somebody one time, right? So the civil lawsuits don't necessarily imply guilt of anything, right? Trump was found civilly liable of being a sexual assaulter, but not criminally. So what does that mean? It's just more of you're paying civil penalties and you're paying money. It is not an implication of guilt, so you're not guilty of those charges. An implication of guilt. So Oh, that's Tom. I didn't know that was you, Tom. Tom. I didn't see Tom as the intellectual tape, but we're gonna see. I mean, it's a denied allegation. Media portrayals here. Combs filed a $100 million defamation lawsuit against NBC, Peacock, and Amble Entertainment. This lawsuit contends that the documentary Diddy Making of a Bad Boy contains false and defamatory statements, further complicating his legal battles. You know, where he could eventually win a lot on this and maybe make some money is if, like, Trump decides to pardon him or just lets him off, right? Says, okay, we're going to drop the charges on him like he's trying to do with Romania with Andrew Tate. Like, Andrew Tate was accused of the same thing, right? And Trump and the Trump administration is trying to get him off. I don't know what the relationship, if there is a relationship with Diddy and Trump. Being New Yorkers, I'm certain there is a possibility that there is something there. So, you know, what to say here? Like, we're on the outside looking in. Like, they eventually got his, you know, the guy from Chicago here. You know, he believed he could fly. He couldn't fly out of the jail, right? Like, he got, you know, he was fighting for himself, and it's just tough to, you know, to prove these things. Like, they have to have tapes. Like, that was the problem with this other guy here from Chicago, was that he taped himself. He had evidence of himself committing these acts. There was a trail, but we saw, even if you have a trail, like our politicians, like Gates from Florida, even if there's some evidence, it isn't always enough evidence to get a conviction. And a lot of these people, but federal is different. Like, if you're implicated or you're in a federal case, federal cases are usually open, you know, lock, you know, they're a lock, right? Like, they get them in and they convict these people. Like, you're guaranteed almost of a conviction and at minimum 25 years in prison, right? When you get a federal charge. So it is what it is, people. We're going to see where that goes. Thank you for joining, Thomas. Take a look at some of the other things that we had this morning. I'm just bored here. We're just bored. There was not a lot in the internet sphere to entertain me. So I got on here to whine about how I have 390 videos with 343 subscribers. And yes, I've tried a lot of different things. And I would say that, yes, my consistency hasn't been good throughout my history, and that I'm all over the place. Like, the channel is about maybe too much. Joey is right. A lot of people that are on these MMA channels, they want one particular thing, and that's picks. I would disagree. There is, like, the MMA holes. There are a bunch of other MMA channels that are pretty big. You know, you got like Jesse on Fire, who does controversial BS, who just has clickbait and fire. And I need to do some of that clickbait as well to grow the channel. But what for? What is the goal with the channel? I sometimes have to think about that. And it really comes down to participation. The more people that are viewing, it just makes my content creation easier, in that I'm able to bounce back or bounce ideas of people that are participating, and it just isn't a one-way microphone. It isn't a one person on a soapbox, and it's a two-way conversation, as opposed to what it is right now, where it is just me just speaking, me presenting something, and that's it. And it was like that previously, even with the other videos and the other content that I did create. So that is what it is, right? Like, and I have to accept that. But at the same time, it's like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time to not have any residuals or have any dividends produce themselves, right? Like, that's why I went live. And I went to a live format because I was getting, and I see that, like, it definitely was better when I was just doing voiceovers over slides, which I can go back to. But some of that, like, I scripted it and I was reading, and it was very time as well as some labor. Now I have it because I have a new computer. I can bust out those slides in moments, right? I could bust out that type of content to you if that's all people want, is that analysis. But a lot of people already do that, and I find it just boring. Right? It's just, and it is just one way, right? There is no real engagement when I do that. So that's why I hopped on the live kick. Unfortunately, I have enough subscribers, because I think you just need 50 to go live. 1,000 before I could get super chats, which I don't really give a shit. 1,000 would be sweet, in that maybe I get better in the algorithm. One thing about YouTube that I'm frustrated about is that there are definitely content creators that have fewer, much less content than I have. And I wouldn't even say that the content is as relevant or as poignant or as well created as mine. And it has by far more subscribers and views, right? Like, I made something on content today that I could do a search for, and I just don't come up as like one of the top MMA uh, content creators for even today, right? Like, I'm even today, I'm just far behind where it is, and I'm just not in the algorithm at all. And I'm not gonna, yeah, I have whined about it to an extent, mainly because I have put in some grind into it, not as much as some people, right? But I was looking at some guy, like, he had like 20,000 subscribers. Yeah, clickbait is the way to go, though. Like, clickbait, because that's all YouTube cares about as well. It could care less how good your content is. It wants the content to be engaging, but it wants it so they could sell or pair advertisement with it, and that's what its goal is, right? I wonder right now if I can't put like a watermark or anything onto my video. Can I do something? Can I do anything with it right now? Let's see. I can put a thumbnail. Let me see here. Let me see here. Yeah, I could put that on there. You change that, right? I could do this. Copy, boom, edit, paste. I could do some things right now. And then let me save that. I actually don't want to do that. I'll do something else here. But actually, no, let me change that. I don't like that. I already used this one. Let's use something else. But welcome, Bout Butters. Welcome, people. Welcome. EDC, Super Bowl, Maker, Drew, Crux, Dunhill, and all this shit that I made, man. All this graphics, all this shit, man, and like, it's nothing. Right? There we go. We'll put that one. All this work that I've done on making like these thumbnails, all this shit, and it comes to nothing. You know what I mean? Like, right? It doesn't yield dividends. And it is what it is. Oop. Why isn't it doing that? Yeah, we'll see what it does. I can always correct it later on. Let me get back to my video. I can always correct that shit later on. But welcome, Bout Batters. I wish I could have smoked today. I wanted a cigar, but man, it was oh no. Okay. Yeah, it was it's just too cold out there. I ain't going out there. It's too cold. Fuck that. Way too cold. Yeah, too cold way out there, and it's not fun smoking a cigar in the fucking cold out there in the garage. Right? It's no fun, so forget that. And it's getting colder. Right? It's getting colder. I'm not doing that. Right? Not doing that. So, but I did want to smoke a cigar. It's just too cold out there. I got cigars to smoke. I got new stuff to smoke. I got old stuff. I still got some boxes that I need to break open. Right? I still have some boxes that need to be broken in, and some uh, content to be made. Right? Like some reviews to be made. I'll make some shorts out of them. It's just that it's too cold. I want to wait till it's like good weather. Um, or maybe maybe I get invited to a cigar club or something maybe in the near future. But I think in the well, I don't know what happened there, people. Man, well, I don't know what happened there, people. Man, it's you hit something on the phone, and it is. I'm back here, but you hit something on the phone, and everything's good, Tom. Everything's good down here. I'm nice and warm, man. I'm nice and toasty. I almost sweat. I'm always very comfortable, especially with all the tea, nice tea I'm having. A little tea today, but yeah, everything's like my nose has been fine, my eyes have been pretty good, haven't had any pain. My skin, I probably do need to lotion, need that Diddy oil. Diddy was giving you a good advice. In order to get that good skin, you gotta lotion up. You gotta lotion up, put on that nice Lubriderm, the Nivea. I don't know what your favorite lotion is, but it might be Johnson. There's nothing wrong with the baby oil. Nothing wrong with it. I haven't used it in years, but there's nothing wrong with it. Right? I mean, if you really need the baby oil, then Johnson & Johnson, yeah, it's some good stuff. Johnson & Johnson, some good ass shit. I still have some Johnson & Johnson baby oil in the cupboard in the washroom. Right? If you need something for your butt, like the baby cream, like butt cream for your butt. Like I use butt cream. I got booty cream. You want me to show you the booty cream lotion? I use that shit. Let me show you. Booty goo. When Roberto's ass feels a little shaved, go to booty goo. Booty goo. Booty goo. Booty goo. Goo 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 goo. Goo goo. I want my booty goo. Oh, I need my booty goo. I got my booty rash. Oh, you want some of this booty goo? You want some of this booty goo? This stuff is good. Diaper repair, it says, or diaper change. Even adults need this. If you got a BBL, you need the booty goo. You need the booty goo. If you got a BBL, this is like the BBL cream right here. Booty goo. I got to get some more of this booty goo. Right, the booty goo. It's empty. You see, it's almost empty. I've been using this shit. You're wearing some long underwear, you're working hard, you got to have some booty goo, right? This is no weirdo here. This is no Diddy. This is the straight, you need this stuff, the booty goo, right? People are don't hate on the booty goo. Shit works. It's not made by Johnson & Johnson's, but the booty goo works. And you guys need some booty goo. People need booty goo. People need that Johnson & Johnson's baby oil. They need some lotion. They need to brush their teeth. They need that mouthwash. The booty goo. You need the dude wipes, right? You need those wipes. Wipe your butt. I've been doing the wipes now for like almost 20 years. I used to make fun of my friend, like, what do you got these baby wipes in here? What the fuck? And then, I started using it from day one. I was like, whoa. I wiped a bunch, and then I took the baby wipe and I looked, and oh shit, there's still stuff there. I was going to pull up my pants and leave that shit literally still on my butt. And after that, never went back. Yeah, dude, Johnson & Johnson is pissed. I mean, or probably they shouldn't be upset, or maybe they are. Maybe people are banning Johnson & Johnson because of Diddy. But we're going to see if there's got to be decent evidence. The dude had to leave a money trail, right? Like it's crime 101. If you're going to do something illegal, don't leave a paper trail. Don't leave receipts. Don't take photos of it. Don't leave evidence. Then again, most criminals generally are not very smart people. Diddy was a smart guy. I think Diddy went to Howard University. He was, historical black university, historical black college. Let's see if Diddy did Diddy and what did he study? All right, I think Diddy. Yeah, he did attend Howard University in Washington, D.C., where he studied business administration. However, he did not graduate. He left after 2 years to pursue his music career. In 2014, Howard University awarded him an honorary doctorate, which they rescinded. They took it back from him, right? They took it back from him, but he did 2 years at Howard University for 2 years for business administration. Just getting into Howard it's a prestigious black college, so he's not an idiot, right? But he was dumb. Most criminals are idiots because they leave evidence, right? They leave evidence, right? What is that? Minus 122. What that is a trip. But if you're gonna do anything criminal, whether it's like somebody like was. Yeah, you could get a degree for doing nothing. It's an honorary degree. It doesn't mean anything. People get them all the time. So he gave a speech, and they are prestigious because you could put that. You could actually put it down as a degree that you have. You could say, I received a degree from Howard University. You don't have to, you don't have to say what it was. You could say, I studied business administration and received a degree from Howard University. Do you see how deceptive that is? But he could say that, and it's legit. Right? Even though he didn't graduate, he did study business administration at Howard University, and he did receive a degree. He doesn't have to say that it was honorary. He doesn't have to say that he graduated, right? Like is he lying? Like that's the same with one of the military guys, the Green Beret, who was an MMA, Tim Kennedy, right? He embellished a little bit. He sort of didn't say he worded shit in his stories and his book and stuff that made himself look better. But was he being what's up, Leon? No, you know what? Leon, it's good seeing you, buddy. To be quite honest, I bet it's the opposite. I bet Diddy's a boss in there. He's got the money. He could pay off the guards, and he could pay off people, right? And I bet it's the opposite. He's probably the shot caller in there, right? He isn't federal. He's got to be in solitary confinement because anybody could extort him. It's so easy for him to be a victim and to get extorted and also to die. Like the last thing the federal prosecution and the prison wants is for him to be killed while incarcerated, because it just doesn't make them look good. But can you get the other guys to stop bumming me? No, I like I said, I think it's the opposite. He's saying, can you find somebody for me to bum? He's like, and he's got, and chances are he's got the baby oil. He's got the Johnson & Johnson's baby oil in the cell. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with the baby oil. Like there's nothing, it's not contraband. They might have the baby oil in the commissary in prison. He might be able to buy it in prison with his books. He's got it on his books, and he's probably able to buy Johnson & Johnson baby oil. Or maybe Johnson & Johnson sponsored him and sent it to him, bought it for him and sent it to the prison for him. Right? So I'm going to take these off because it's steamy. The oil. Oh, yeah. Thomas has mentioned the heated apparel. Yeah, Thomas, they've had that stuff for years now, and it's certainly gotten better. Here's what I would ask you. Is it worth it to buy like the Milwaukee version? Like, because I know Milwaukee has been doing that for a long time. And I guess it depends what platform you have. Like I have DeWalt batteries, and I do have some Milwaukee batteries. So it might be worth it for me to buy their version because I already have the batteries that would go in there. Right. And I have some big batteries for my Milwaukee. Like I have some 20 volts. Right. And I mean, for my DeWalt, and for Milwaukee, they sell some big ones that you probably can't use. I bet there's a limit Like you probably have a 12 volt and a 20 volt. Probably not the 12 volt because it's a different connection, right? So heated apparel, yeah, I think for Chicago, it's a no-brainer. Like working here, especially if you're working like outdoors, ramp, you're working like yourself, um, in a garage, right, or a place where it's a little cooler. Yeah, heated apparel. It's mainly the jackets. I haven't seen too many of the pants that have it. And then again, what platform you're going on. And I know a lot of the jackets, like, and if you're gonna go Chinese, cheap Chinese, Timo, fucking AliExpress route, or you're gonna go Chinese / Milwaukee, because all that Milwaukee and DeWalt shit's made in China too. Like, what is made in America now? Make America, buy made American. What American products are you gonna purchase? Like, can't buy a headset, Yetis. These aren't made in America. Milwaukee's king. Amazon sells some banging ones. Snap-on sells ones. Everyone sells them at different, so just your taste is. I disagree that it's a matter of taste. It's always got to be, especially with technology, it's got to be. Leon Nestag, there's all here in the U.S. or worldwide, you can buy like a vest or a jacket that runs on your tool battery. So like on your, it's heated. It has like these coils that go throughout the jacket, and it runs on what tool, like a platform of like DeWalt is a tool platform, Milwaukee's a tool platform, Ryobi is a tool platform, and they have a bunch of other tool platforms. Bosch makes ones, and Bosch, the German company, which is probably made in China too. I don't actually know, right? As well as who else is out there in the world of tools that makes my skill saw. That they haven't been in the game as much lately, but so it's basically a clothing line where you have it's lined with a coil that it runs on a battery and it warms you up, so you don't get cold. So good stuff. I mean, it's been out for a long time. The jackets are with a battery. If you could get it with a battery, are like $200 in that range. In fact, they're on sale right now at Home Depot. I think the Milwaukee one, the jacket alone, just the jacket, is like $99. It's like $100, which most of us have batteries for, Milwaukee battery or DeWalt batteries. So $99 just for the jacket's a deal. It's on sale. I saw a video because I watched these videos of like what's hot at Home Depot, even though I haven't bought a tool in a year because I have most of the tools that I need. I haven't bought any of them. So yeah, Leon, that's what it is. It's you must not work in the trades. You must not work outdoors if you don't know what those heated garments are. I myself have worked outdoors for years, as well as my nephew there, Tom, works as a garage. So yeah, it's for cold places. Yeah, cold places. Although they could make one for cool, they cool you down, but it's a lot easier to make one for heat, right? Oh, that tea is good. I've been using fresh lemons in my tea. Yeah, it's for cold weather in general, and for extreme cold, right? If it's extremely cold, these things work really, really well. Although, and I think you could control it. Like it has a little, you're probably on the phone, on an app by now, you could control it, like the temperature on it. So yeah, cold weather in general, wherever you're at, because you might not be like, say, Leon, you work as a butcher in your country, right? You're working in a freezer, or you're working at a convenience store and you have to go stock beer in the freezer, right? Or even if you're working at a restaurant, you're going to be reorganizing the freezer for an hour or two. You wear one of these things and you're nice and warm, right? You're not going to get cold. You go in there with one of these, your gloves, and you restock the freezer in your restaurant or wherever you're at, right? So Leon Neshtig, I thought you were like in Finland or someplace that is cold, or Norway. So you should know about these products and definitely potentially get them. I've not gotten them because most of the times actually, that's not true. Last time sometimes you get stuck out there for a while, but more often than not, it's just my hands that get cold, right? My hands and my feet have been really good because I'm wearing the Keens. I've been wearing like really good boots, and I got like really good thermal socks, but my hands generally and your face, because that's what's exposed the most, right? Your face gets cold, but my core, for the most part, with your your liner, a sweater, a vest, and another jacket, and then another jacket. See, he's in Norway. Yeah, exactly. If you have good, he's in Norway. Yeah, Leon, I gotta get to Norway. I've been watching some Norwegian TV shows, and I don't know, Leon, if you're into some of those TV shows, but the stuff that you guys produce is really really cool, and I love seeing the country. The country is just beautiful, and I love the furniture, the Scandinavian furniture that you guys have. It's all beautiful, and you guys like here in the States, they like their murder mysteries and their teen shit and a lot of police dramas. We get, at least that's what we get from Netflix, right? We get a lot of these police dramas, and that's the type of content that we get from Norway. But really, just seems like the stuff we get is like high quality produced, and it's like beautiful. You see the countryside, and they really make the country look beautiful. Merino wool, yeah, because merino, it's expensive though, the merino wool as well as the alpaca wool. Merino is really good because it has great heat retention, but more than that, it's very breathable. And if it gets wet, it dries very quickly, right? But merino wool, for the price, it's pretty expensive. I think, Tom, what you're getting right there, if because if you're in the garage a lot, if you're outdoors, if they have the doors open all the time, yeah, the Milwaukee jacket's going to be fine for you because you got to be able to move. You're not like us when we got to move, but we're moving not quite as much as you. We're just, as soon as we're done with our shipment, our cargo load or whatever, we're done. Right? We bring in the plane, we unload the plane, we reload the plane. 40 minutes, an hour tops, in and out, bada bada boom. You're almost sweating, even not wearing any of the heated gear, the heating glow. You're sweating. You're like peeling off the jacket, right? A lot of times, I'm just using a fleece with the vest, right? And I already have like 2 layers underneath that, right? And that's what I'm using more often. But I still go out with my coat, and then I will wear the coat, and I'll have it in a place where I could actually put it on if I get really hot. Yeah, neon. Oh man, I bet the clothes in Norway, the sweaters there, that's what I would buy if I went to Norway. For sure, I'm buying me like a Norwegian wool sweater. Like I'm definitely buying a sweater from Norway. If I go, even if it's summertime, I'm like going to go to where it's stuff's on sale for the winter, and I'm buying like some nice, wool gloves, a nice wool scarf, a nice Norwegian sweater, and a hat. Like I'm buying all that when I go to Norway. It sounds corny, but if I went there, I would buy that. It's a no-brainer. Like, because it's going to be beautiful and it's going to be well made. And here, honestly, like the European quality, like we pay a premium for European products here, right? Because the quality is that much better. And it's not just because it's made for Europe. The quality is that much better. And you're willing to pay a premium because the quality is that much better. And a lot of my followers don't care about that shit, right? And most people don't. Most Americans do not have a clue about what is quality. They assume that just because it's Carhartt, and they don't even know that Carhartt is still, there's two types of Carhartt, the stuff that's made in the US and the stuff that's not. And most of it isn't made in the US. In fact, it's made in different countries. It's made in India. It's made in fucking Mexico. It's made in China. It's made in Vietnam and Indonesia. Most of our clothes are made there, right? We don't have the American made quality, and we make beautiful stuff here, but but you're going to pay for it. You pay for an American-made leather jacket or work jacket, you're going to pay hundreds of dollars for it. Not just $200. We're talking like $300-$400 for something that's really nice, even a sweater, right? So, yeah, he wears a lot of wools. Yeah, it doesn't matter, Liana. Like, the stuff there is going to be really good. I'll find it. Like, I know what's good quality once I see it. This sweater I have, not good quality. Made in Indonesia someplace, not great quality, but that's okay. I don't need it to be warm, right? Even I bought it fashionably and I got it destroyed, but I don't need it to be great quality, and it isn't. And most people, yeah, and Thomas mentioning that, like, yeah, the stuff from Europe is traditionally made. It's still machine made, but it is. Oh, yeah, in Europe. Here in the United States, people are passionate about making high quality stuff. The big difference is most of our stuff is made with machines. We're using technology and it's all mass made. Where stuff in Norway, it's still going to be minimally produced, right? It's still hand produced. And, you didn't have Amazon come in and fucking destroy your, you know, destroy your mom and pop industry, right? So you still have little mom and pop shops probably in Norway. Well, here we do not have that. We do not have any small stores. We barely do. And if you do find a boutique, it's going to be considered boutique, and it's going to be expensive, right? So, and people don't want to spend that kind of money, unless you're rich. Most common people do not want to spend the money on quality shit. They're just going to buy the mass-produced stuff. They're going to go to AliExpress. They're going to go to Temu. They're going to go to Amazon. I can't tell you how many guys I work with, and they have some decent stuff that looks good. I don't know, the quality-wise, it looks good, and they get their shit off of Amazon. They're not buying North Face stuff. They're not buying Columbia gear. They're not buying Under Armour. Like, most of my long underwear is all Under Armour. My heated gear, my long underwear, both tops and bottoms, is Under Armour. That's what I go with. Yeah, see, Leon saying in Norway, there are a lot of people choosing to stay away from working for big companies, but your government agrees with that, right? Yeah. Oh man, that would be great. But your government is protectionist. They're protecting the cottage industry in your country, whereas here in the U.S. we're not. Like it's too late to do it. Our government pays lip service to that, but none of it's made here. And I would like look at our president who was making ties, selling ties, his own ties that were made in China. His "Make America Great Again," all that fucking those hats are made in China. Like he the silver coins that he probably made were made in fucking China, right? Like everything that he sells, plates, all that's made in China. And he pays lip service to like keep America great again, make America great again. All these people, it's all just lip service. It's all smoke and mirrors. Yeah, and that's what's great. Hopefully your government doesn't become as corrupt as ours. Our government is super corrupt at this point. They're helping these big companies like Amazon. That's why Jeff Bezos was at the inauguration. They're helping the Googles. They're helping, like, the only reason they don't want Temu and AliExpress is because they're going to be competitors to Jeff Bezos, right? That's why the government subsidized probably even Amazon. But we destroyed our industry here. Like, we had great leather that was made here, right? We had great wool. We incredible Paca wool clothing. Like Levi's used to be made here. Great denim, right? Think of all the great American companies: Carhartt, Ben Davies, even the shoes and the Florsheim shoes, Clark shoes, Converse, Vans, right? Like all used to be made here in the U.S. U.S. made. Nike at one time was made here, or Nike, however you want to pronounce it, used to be U.S. made. It was a U.S. made product here in Oregon. No longer, right? Like we can't find any garment or even the Under Armour stuff, North Face stuff. It's all made in Asia, right? That's how, like, you could watch those videos. Like, well, how many could I get this price? Except on stuff like the Ukraine war and immigrants. Yeah, I don't know what the immigration status is here. I'm sorry, in Norway. You might know more about that than I do. And I know that they're getting backlash throughout Europe on immigrants and on Ukraine. And I could say something inappropriate about Ukraine, and I don't want to. I know a lot of people are here going as mercenaries to Ukraine to help the Ukrainians fight the crazy drunk, rapist, scumbag Russians. I can't believe our U.S. is supporting Russia. You have blue-blooded Americans from Arkansas, from Mississippi, from Florida supporting Russians. I mean, in my lifetime, I can't believe it. They'll call us communists, but we call our own government communist, but support Russia. But support Russia. It's crazy. It's not even hypocritical or a thing with just being stupid. It is partially being stupid. We have a very dumb population here. in the U.S. Very uneducated, very misinformed. They fall for the rope-a-dope, like the rope-a-dope, and it's just like a YouTube. Everybody's doing that bait and switch, the rope-a-dope. Everyone, including in MMA. Like you create, like that dude Jesse on Fire. A lot of these MMA, and I've been mentioning it, Leon, for a long time. A lot of these MMA gamblers, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all a lie. They're not betting and they're not doing what they say. Because if they were a successful gambling, doing, they would have upgraded their clothes. They would have upgraded their cameras by now. You would have seen them showing off a little bit, right? You don't see any of those dudes making money. They're not making money. I admit I didn't make money. Last year, I ended up losing $1,200. And the year before that, I lost even more, right? And I've been up front about it. He was just saying Ukraine and Russia is basically the same place, though. I don't understand how we pick a side when they're both the same thing. Yeah, I don't know the history of Ukraine too much. And I don't know too many Ukrainians. I know it used to be Russia, right? Where we cannot. It's just like any sort of aggression, and our aggression needs to be checked. We're like fucking, ready to go into Mexico illegally, right? And crush these cartels, which will not stop the flow of fucking drugs one bit. I lost 2 viewers there, but it won't stop the flow of drugs into our country at all because the demand's so high. We've had a demand for drugs for fucking decades, if not since the history of America, right? We've had a desire for drugs, right? Including tobacco, including our cigars and things that are with me. But like heroin's been a hit historically here, cocaine, marijuana. We have a history. We have a demand that there's always going to be someone to fulfill that demand. And it isn't just the Mexican cartels that are doing it. A lot of people internationally involved in the drug trade. So we're illegally going now, invading Mexico, which they're allowing because they don't have much of a choice, right? The cartels are actually stronger than the Mexican government's military. And we're fucking with the Canadians, where they're a little bit stronger, but the Canadians, we're not infringing on their borders yet. We're not infringing on and I say this yet, because there is going to be a possibility where we're going to militarize our northern border unnecessarily under the premise of drugs being and immigrants coming across that border, which is by far less trafficked illegally. Like they're much few. If anything, there are more illegal immigrants going from the U.S. to Canada, right? The scary part of Canada is those aggressive Frenchmen. No, actually, I would disagree with that. The scary part of Canada is the interior of Canada, where you have like the crazy natives there, the indigenous population that fucking is so poor and lives horribly and is, has so many issues like with drugs and alcohol that will fuck you up because they're sick of seeing foreigners invade, and they look at us as invaders still. Right, they are not friendly. And then same area like the Calgary, the mountain people that are like sort of like our hillbillies. They live in the boonies, and then they do not fuck around. The same thing. They don't want to see new people coming. They don't want to see Americans. They don't want tourism. Right, like that's more. They're crazy, right? Well, in their country, they're beyond driven out. They're driven down. Canada's was treated their native population, their indigenous population, worse than America. Like most of them are dead. They don't have a lot of. They have by far a smaller indigenous population than we do, right? Like we still, have a lot of Native Americans, even though we're killing them too. But yeah, it's not the crazy Frenchmen and the Quebecois and the French people of French descent that are fucking up Canada. Or that are dangerous in Canada. They have their crazy politicians and their morons too. They are very backwards. Everyone here in the United States is falling, and I'm glad that Europe hasn't fallen for it, but it's getting there. Like we have fallen for the disreality that is social media. Like we have fallen for, our fiction is now our reality. Right, lying, the lies are our real world, right? So Leon is saying, yeah, the whole rule has that in common. It seems we all drive out our natives into some of the small settlements rape and steal. We did the same to the same folk. Yeah, you know, historically, I've been watching the whole Vikings thing on which isn't a Danish show. I think they're English, and they sort of cover like in one of the Viking things. I'm seeing it where it's I forgot the name of the Viking one that I'm watching now. It's like the third version of the show Vikings, and it's really has a lot to do with how the Vikings have become assimilated into Christianity, and they go against the sort of Celtic Vikings, the ones that are more into monotheism and right to the old Celtic religion versus the Christianity, right? So they're going at war with each other and changing their culture and how that's affected that area. So maybe there was some of that. Again, I'm not versed in that. Nor in religion. Yeah, I'm not as. Yeah, that's an area that I'm not as familiar with. Actually, I studied anthropology, but my focus wasn't that. I've studied more Aztec, more Mesopotamia. You know, like our natives here, not Native Americans, but native. Yeah, I guess there are Native American, but more Mexican, Guatemalan stuff. But yeah, like Norway had their history too, with as well as England, right, with the Gauls, and all that other shit. Again, it's a facet of history I'm not as familiar with, and I could watch as much TV to give me the wrong impression of things, because that's what's also happened. Like you have people watching these movies and they think like that it is actual history based on historical fact, right? Like you get all these like these false narratives that are yeah, no, I don't know how I don't know anything of the same folk. I don't know anything about Norse history, very little of European history past like the 17th, 18th century, because that's what we're taught, right? We're taught from Napoleon onwards, right? That's what we're in our educational system. You know, we're taught about the Prussian War, right? And then after that, right? There's very little before that taught, right? The French Empire, Spanish Empire, British Empire, then we get into our history. And that's pretty much what most of us learn in terms of world history. It says they are kind of like your natives. They live in small settlements in the north of Norway, and they have their own flag and language. You know, I didn't know that, man. I'm definitely going to look into that. That is really, really cool. I didn't know that. I'm glad. So that's why I like, you know, sometimes going live is the best part. And that's why I wish I had more people, because like, look at what I just learned. Now I have a mission. I have a goal. I have something that somebody's taught me from across the world that I have to now up my game, you know, like go and investigate. Like there is something positive that has come out of this interaction, and that's fun. Right. And again, that's why getting, you know, disappointed where I'm at subscriber wise, not for the money. It isn't for like, hey, I want somebody to fucking thanks for your $1.99. You know, I don't really need that. It's just more, they make some beautiful music called Yoke. Interesting. I've seen some of the music. Is it Kazakhstan, or there's that one band where the ladies playing and they got the like, they almost are like our Inuit, like our Alaskan people, right? Like there's an Alaskan indigenous, and there's a group that makes like this cool tribal music, and they're on YouTube. You see them on YouTube, and they've got some really cool videos. Man, they make some incredible music, right? But I think that they're from the Uzbekistan. They're from the Siberian area of between, you know, Mongolian, Siberian area. I think, I could be wrong. I have to look into that. But Leon, I'll definitely take a look at the history and look at what you're mentioning to me, and I'll check it out. I'll check out all the music and look at the Norse history from here, and I'll probably go to YouTube to do it. And I'm certain there's like a 2-hour thing that I could listen to on YouTube. Daniel's yoke. Yeah, I'll take a look at it, right? Like I'm always interested in learning new things, and again, it's a facet of history that I don't know. Like we'll watch this fucking, you know, Viking shit, and we'll watch this stuff, and it's just like we just care about the axes going into people. We're not looking at the We're not reading the subtext. And in fact, in this Vikings show, there is a historical subtext, right? They are showing us like the battle between the idolatry of the older Norse people and then the ones that are following Christ now. But most people don't want to pay attention to that shit. They don't want to watch that. Most people don't watch those. Most Americans don't watch that kind of content anyways. They're fucking still watching like, the truth about, our guys killing Bin Laden. They want to watch that shit. They want to watch the espionage and counterterrorism and the military shit, police crap. Right? That's CIA shit. That's what most of these motherfuckers want to watch. Or which I have no problem with, the kid stuff and some of the romance stuff. I'd rather have people watch that. But you look at what's top on Netflix, action movies, pretty much action movies and some teen shit. But yeah, I'll take a look at that stuff and we'll see what I can glean from it. The Chicao shows. I don't know what you mean by the Chicao shows. We're in Chicago. Maybe the Chicano, like our stuff with the. What do we got? You mean like Chicago Fire? Our fire, about our fire department and our Chicago PD, or police department. That's too funny. That shit's popular. Oh my god, that's horrible. I mean, it's well made. It has nothing to do with Chicago. I mean, it's well produced and good-looking people. It has good-looking people and it's well made. Like good-looking chicks, good-looking actors. Even here, it's popular because and they have tons of it. It's been going on for years. My girlfriend's into that shit. She loves the Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, and I don't know what the other one is, but I can't say that no, they're not real in any way whatsoever. In no way. Nothing about them's real at all. They're not even interesting. Like nothing, even the politics of it, none of it's interesting. Yeah, not interesting at all. But yeah, I don't watch any of that stuff, and I'm from Chicago. And most of it, I was about to say that like half of like 80% of it's not even filmed in Chicago. It's all like on a set in LA or rooms. Like they'll show some. There is some that is here, but most of it's not filmed here. Most of it's not filmed here, but some is filmed here. So you'll see the actors and you'll see them block off some of the streets. They came here to my neighborhood once. They used one of the old restaurants that is now a bakery. It was a bakery before, and then they redid it as a bakery. They remodeled it, and they were here recently. That wasn't not recently. It was a few years ago. So, yeah, they're sometimes around. You could see them. I mean, it's a good thing for Chicago. Promotes the city, and sometimes when they are filming, if they are paying that tax, which is expensive, it's expensive to film in Chicago. Like they're famous. What are the most famous movie we had was Batman Returns. One of the better Batmans was here in Chicago, right? Like with Tom Hardy. Like that Batman was with this guy Bateman, not Bateman. What's his name? But one of the better Batmans was filmed here. But then there isn't a lot, right? There isn't a ton of it that was filmed here. Oh, that tastes much better. Okay. I just learned something. If you boil the lemons with the tea, the water, it doesn't taste as good as if you just throw the lemon in afterward. Throw the lemon in after the tea's made. Like, you guys need to know this stuff. But yeah, there isn't, our stuff is all phony. So yeah, Bateman. Yeah, American Psycho, one of my favorite movies. Yeah, he was in the movie. A lot of it was in Chicago. In fact, not that movie. And they came back here to Chicago when the one with the Joker. I went and I saw them filming it, and it was really cool. Like, I got to see Christian Bale. Yeah, Christian Bale. Not Christian. I got to see the actor who played the Joker from afar. Like I saw Christian Bale too from afar. Like they were doing a scene, and I was like literally like a block away, like so far away, but you could see him filming it, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. So yeah, Heath Ledger. I got to see Heath Ledger. I never met him, but I got to see him from way afar, and they were filming a scene, and I just happened to be in downtown Chicago at the time, and it was a cool shot, and I see it and when I watched the movie, I'm like, hey, I saw them film that. So that stuff is really really cool. Same with like Transformers. Like one of the Transformers movies had scenes in here. Um, Wanted, is it Wanted? The movie with the guiding bullets was filmed here. Oh yeah, the Heath Ledger Batman movies. I'm not a Batman fan at all either, but those movies were sick, dude. The just the Christian Bale Batman movies are just so good, right? It's like Christopher Nolan was the director, right? The English director. Those are all just so well made, man. Great action, great suspense, good storytelling, just really really well made, right? So yeah, those I was not a big Batman fan. I'm more of a Marvel dude, and in fact, those Batman movies were much better than the Marvel movies. You could argue that they were actually like more complex, better written, better made, with less special effects, and just cooler than a lot of the Marvel movies. Oh my god, don't even get me. I like the Star Wars movies suck. I like the new Star Wars shows. Like I'm a huge fan of Andor. Looking forward. I think Andor comes later next month. I mean, next week. Andor, the new season of Andor is just off the chain, so good. I don't know what they're gonna do with Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was decent, right? That was okay. And then of course Okasha is going to be there, and that was decent. Like it could have been a lot better. They're just falling into the constant trap of wanting to sell to kids, and I'm glad Andor didn't do that. Oh yeah, not just Ewan McGregor. The ending, the like man, that last episode where he gets to meet, and then also having the evil the what do they call the Sith that go hunting for uh, Jedi. Like that whole subline story was really really good, and then the final episode, like where he fights Vader, Obi-Wan fights Vader again, was just fucking incredibly good, right? So I don't know what they're gonna do for a second season of that, and I think they missed the boat there. They should have made it into a movie, right? The female Inquisitor, yeah. See, that's what I mean. They're trying to. Yeah, I agree with you. They're trying to get girls in there, women. They're trying to be egalitarian, kids to watch it, right? Because he was protecting the little girl, the Leia, right? Like they were building on that Leia relationship to get the kids into it. It just isn't. They're still doing that. And if they do that with Andor, they're going to lose a lot of people. Should not. Please do not do that. Padme was one of my favorites as a kid for many reasons. Yeah, she's a beautiful girl, but I didn't like that whole Padme. They could still revisit that, right? Like in Obi-Wan, the sequel, like the next season could be more about Padme. And I think that would be a good idea, is to go the Padme route, because she already died in that canon. She already died. Right, because she died when Obi-Wan became Vader, and that's a big reason like he became Vader, was because she was dead, right? So that's really good. But yeah, there's the new Star Wars stuff, man. Yeah, you got Okasha. I think that the whole, like, we're gonna see Rogu again. I think that sort of element with Boba Fett, I think that should be gone. That should almost be finished. I think they're bleeding it too much. They should have started something else. Like they should have done a real life version of the Bad Batch. Is what they should have done. Was it Luke and his blue milk was the bottom of the barrel? Yeah, dude. They didn't need to do that with the animal there. Book of Boba Fett was no. I actually liked the Book of Boba Fett. I was into it because I like the story of him with the natives, like we're talking about, like with the Sand People, and then they brought in the villain at the end, the Boba Fett's nemesis, and who used to be his buddy, that they had him. I forget his name right now. The blue dude with the bad teeth. That dude was a badass in the fucking comic books and in the cartoons. Like I found that whole sub story like really really good. Cad Bane, fucking seeing him, and then also like they had the Old Town. They had the one dude from Justified in there, like the whole Western element to it. If you look at it as a Western, like Wild West thing, it was really well made. And it's a famous Mexican American director that did a lot of that, which was Robert Rivera directed a lot of it. So the music's really good. Yeah, he was freaking awesome in the Clone Wars, but his design was bad in the show. I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. I thought, he was pretty good. Yeah, it looked like an alien to me. Of course, they had to do what they did, but yeah, seeing Cad Bane was pretty darn cool. I really liked that. Like so, but I think they took that story, like the Book of Boba Fett as well as the Mandalorian. They should just end it, right? I think they should do like the Bad Batch, and then continue on with Okasha, and then bring in the other kid from the Jedi series, the other kid that survived. He was a young Jedi, and then he's been surviving. I forget his name right now. In fact, they are putting him in. I think he's going to be in Okasha, or whatever. He's going to be in that show. He's from the video games, like the kid from the video games. No, there's another one that survived, not Okasha. It's a young kid. They already brought on the kid from whatever the other show, the cartoon. He's at the end of Okasha. He's the Indian dude, right? Who's got some Jedi powers. Who was trained with the other. I forget the name of the show right now. The cartoon, actually. So you have to watch the cartoon in order to know who he was. And he was, he had the lightsaber that actually had a gun on it. Like he actually had a pulsar or whatever, laser cannon rifle that was on the sword. And then he also Ezra Berger, yeah. So they brought Ezra Berger in, and I think and we're going to see this dude come back too. In either Obi-Wan or in Okasha, we're going to see our Darth Maul return. So expect to see Darth Maul. I think we're going to see Darth Maul back. Yeah, Kanan Jarrus. Yep, Kanan Jarrus was awesome. And it sucks that they didn't they should have. What they should have done is did Ezra Berger as a standalone, right? They could have did it as a standalone and then integrate him into Okasha. So they could have brought, and that's why I say they should do the Bad Batch rather than any more Mandalorian. And they're not, because they sold so many fucking Grogu, so much fucking merch with the Mandalorian and Boba Fett. They sold so much fucking merch that they're going to keep that shit going. But I think they should have did the Bad Batch next. They should have did a real life version of the Bad Batch, and then go from there. The other thing I didn't like the newer one of the kids that were stowaways and were with an actor I do like the pirate thing, the whole pirate show that was recently on. Yeah, Cal Kretis. That's what I'm talking about. Cal Kretis from Fallen Order. Yeah, that's going to be good. Yeah, and then they could hook that up to the other stuff. They should have did the same thing with Ezra Berger. They fucked up. They could have nursed that Ezra Berger character, and it's a great character. His story is awesome because he teams up in the cartoon. He teams up with fucking this dude, with the fucking Darth Maul. Like he becomes Darth Maul's friend. They could have milked that so well, man. It would have worked so well. They fucked up. They could have milked that story so well. They could have redone that, that whole Jedi thing. And like you said, brought in his master, right, Kanan Jarrus, and the woman. The woman's actually in, she's in Okasha, right? Like the woman who's Kanan Jarrus, his girlfriend or whatever. Yeah, he says that he turns every show, and yeah, him in the Clone Wars is fucking sick, dude. Yeah, but they're gonna bring him in. It's just not gonna be as good. Best voice actor is he? Yeah, he was pretty good. It's a different voice than the actual. Rebels, yes, that's Rebels. Yeah, Rebels. That was good. They should have made that into real life like action. Right? Is that his name? Sam Vitter. Yeah, I mean, it is a good voice, very good voice for sure. I'd agree with you. The Darth Maul voice, but they I think they blew it, right? But we'll see. I mean, they're we'll see. Disney fucks up everything now. Disney makes they're fucking up Marvel, right? They fuck up everything. They have and they have such talented people. Such talented people work for Disney. Disney is like the fucking they're just fantastic. But yeah, Darth Maul's. I just like the story of Darth Maul because he's got a not quite a redemption story, but an anti-hero story. Like you finally discover that he's just out for himself. Like he doesn't care about the big picture of the Sith and all that other shit. You know, he just wants power for himself. And I like that they grab that angle in Rebels, right? Like he just wants the secrets so that he can, you know, that he could survive and become great, like and fulfill himself. He could care less about the fucking Jedi. He could care less about the Sith. He could care less about the witches that raised him. He doesn't give a shit about nothing. Darth Maul just cares about Darth Maul and is willing to do anything to have that power for himself. And I just think that they should have did it. They should have done a live action with Rebels, and that would have been good. And so it's good to hear if they are doing the live action with Cal Credis from Fallen Order. That's a good idea, and it's going to promote the game, right? That's what they're going to do. They're going to promote the game. That Disney's just into selling shit. That's why when they made Star Wars, the latest Star Wars, they were able to sell the little BB, the little rolling thing. They wanted to sell that shit. Back in the day, they sold the Ewoks and they sold all the fucking action figures. Oh yeah, Disney definitely rushes stuff out, but they have no choice. They got to get like if you look at Disney right now, they don't have anything new out there, right? They're somewhat static on their products, and they can't give you the Lion King, newest Lion King movie, right? They can't give you right away all their stuff that's behind a paywall and that they just put out. So a lot of Disney's content on the Disney Channel. I don't know if you guys have the Disney. We have something called the Disney Channel here, where Disney just shows you pay a subscription. I have it because I have it bundled with ESPN to watch mixed martial arts, and so you pay to watch Disney products, right? The Disney shows, and right now they're stagnant. They don't have anything from Star Wars. Okay, yeah, they have the Disney Channel there too. Yeah, they don't have anything new from Star Wars. They don't have anything new from Marvel. They don't have anything new from even their own Disney. So they're just stagnant and they don't have any new viewers because people aren't going to the Disney Plus. I've been going to Disney Plus because they don't have anything new. I watched the latest Star Wars. What was that? I forget what it was called. The little kids stowaways or whatever. They're like, go on this ship and they find this ship and then they go, and the next thing you know, they're in a special place. I think it's garbage. Like I didn't really even like Okasha too, and it's small. Oh no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Okasha. I liked Okasha a bit, but it was the Acolyte. I did not like the Acolyte at all. Disney don't have their creative stars coming up with new good show ideas. It's all remakes and that's America. That's America, man. That's the U.S. You're going to see the Flintstones movie again, the Jetson movie again. You're going to see Scooby-Doo again, right? You're going to see a new Rambo movie. It's like Rambo 13. There was a movie that made fun of Rambo being at Rambo 13, and we're going to see a new Rambo movie. You might see Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator fucking 10. You're going to see another fucking Terminator movie. That is just Hollywood. Hollywood will not risk putting money towards a new franchise, putting money towards something that might fail, or that they don't care if it fails. They just don't want to back something that is new, and that's just Hollywood. It's like I wouldn't doubt that Hollywood remakes like stuff like Boys in the Hood, that they these like the old gangster movies like when I was a kid, the 80s and 90s Blood In, Blood Out. They're gonna remake. They'll remake the Richie Valens movie, right? La Bamba. Like they just cannot make new shit. But the wrestling business does remix how should it be. But when the audience gets tired of the of a guy, they bring in a new one and introduces the old one back in a better time. Yeah, but movies don't do that. Wrestling are just they have better people writing the narrative and the script, and then also people love their like Stone Cold Steve Austin could still fucking come out in the fucking ring right now, and I'm gonna go nuts. Right, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You hear that, the glass break, and you hear that music. I don't care if he's a fucking old man and he comes out on a wheelchair. I'm still gonna be going nuts, right? Because they develop that fan base where you love the guys and you'll support them till death, right? Like that's different with wrestling because you create like an emotional bond with the characters, right? The characters become like your friend and you identify with them a lot deeper than movies. Like movies, it was sort of like that, like with the early Star Wars, but at this point, no way. Nobody develops those. Maybe some kids do, right? But even with them, it's maybe it's like with the princesses. Yeah, but they don't take their time making them. They're out for the quick buck, and they think it's gonna sell shit, and it doesn't. And also now it's almost like the UFC with their fight nights, very top heavy. They'll have like two good fights, if that, as the main card, and they're just producing a show to get it out to ESPN so that ESPN Plus can make their money and they can fulfill their contract with their the person they're supplying the product to. That's all the UFC is doing. That's why the crappy cards. So the last card was still ended up good for free. Yeah, nowadays it doesn't matter. It's quantity. It's not quality. And the UFC's look at the UFC quantity. They're contracted with ESPN and ABC to make X amount of shows a year, X amount of pay-per-views that will stream on their platform, and X amount of hours that they have to produce for ESPN. And so the UFC is doing that. And thus we get cards where fucking Rosenstrike and fucking this guy are the fucking head of the card. Like, even last week, RoboCop, this guy wasn't a bad card. Like main event, UFC opportunities, a bunch of guys, but they only keep the quality ones for a long time. And is that even happening now? Right? They already like dumped on Cannonier, right? Like, and they dumped on Hooker, and look what happened. They dumped on Poirier, and then look what happened. Right? They dump on certain people. They wanted to dump Dvalishvili, and look what happened. The UFC is not loyal any longer to anyone except like their stars. Like Sean O'Malley's still going to get a big pay-per-view. He's look at fucking Israel Adesanya. They dumped on him. He fucked when he took that non-pay-per-view. He should have been, I'm going to fight on the undercard of somebody's pay-per-view. No, I'm not going to headline a fucking free fight night in Vegas or somewhere else. Hell no, I'm not doing that. But he did it. Fucked this shit up. Taking less money. I've been like, no, it hurt his brand. Right? And they shit on him. He fucking was champion for how many years? 6 years as champion. Fucking 6 title defenses or more. Fucking you're done. We don't need you anymore, Israel. Thank you. Australian, we don't care. Like if you, and he does like level with kids and people like him, right? But if you're not like a Sean O'Malley, you look at what the UFC is pushing right now. They are not pushing any one of their champions. They are not promoting not one of their champions. Up and down the fucking list of champions, not one of them's getting any push. It's not even that. UFC is not pushing John Jones. They're not in the John Jones business because the fucker's crazy, right? They're not in the Piera business because he's Brazilian. He doesn't speak English, even though he's super popular worldwide, right? At the light heavyweight, they're not pushing him. They're not pushing Bilal Muhammad. They want Bilal Muhammad fucking gone. They're not pushing Bilal Muhammad. They're not pushing Islam Makhachev. They're not pushing fucking Valentina Shevchenko. They're not pushing Weili Zhang. Right? They're not pushing any of their champions. They're not promoting any of them. If you look at like UFC commercials, their signage, their marketing materials, there's nothing to do with any of their champions. They're still promoting Wonder Boy, right? They're not really promoting Sean O'Malley, but they're leaving Sean O'Malley alone. Yes, Dana is that. Dana just cares about the value is in the UFC. It doesn't matter. I'm selling the UFC. I'm not selling fighters. I'm not selling MMA. I'm selling our product, which is UFC. And that's what Dana does. And he's damn good at it. Right? That's why it's not the name value. It's like that's his product. He's not selling fighting. He's not selling MMA. He's selling the UFC. Right? And that's what he should be doing as a CEO, president, or whatever his title is or whatever. He's doing the right thing. Right? And that, but at the same time, you have these, why aren't they? Dvalishvili, Merab speaks English and he's funny. He's somewhat marketable because he's funny. They don't push him at all, right? Valentina Shevchenko, her greatness is unsurpassed, male or female. One of the greatest MMA fighters, male or female, ever. No push whatsoever. No fucking signage. No commercials. No beer commercials. No fucking tire commercials. Nothing. I get it, John Jones. John Jones is a problem. They don't want to promote him. He's recently gone crazy. He's talking shit somehow, whether he was drunk or whatever. I don't know the details of that, but he's always had issues, and I get it. It's tough to promote that dude, right? Pieta, same thing. Tough to promote him. Americans don't respond well to Brazilians. It's just a fact. The market here doesn't support him. It's so weird to compare it to the WWE here, where Vince used his resources to push individuals, while Dana goes, yeah, that's a big contrast. You make a very good point there. And he was successful doing both. And Dana knows that Vince McMahon models because he was friends with Vince McMahon, and he copied a lot of Vince McMahon. Undertaker's retired. He could go into the UFC right now. Fucking people will go nuts. Mankind, people would go fucking nuts. Hulk Hogan goes back to wrestling, people will fucking go nuts. They could just show up. The Rock could show up, and still fucking people will go nuts. Yeah. He owned him still. He still paid him. But see, the difference is fighting. You're able to discard them. Like Dana just discards fighters, and he doesn't promote his main people. Like there's not one champion that he promotes. When was the last time you seen any of the champions in a commercial? You haven't. You haven't seen any of them in a commercial for Modelo, for Monster Energy. Like, look at their sponsors. You still have Conor McGregor doing Proper 12 commercials. That's all you see. You don't see any of it. You don't see Adesanya Adesanya in anything. You don't see Robert Whittaker in anything. You don't see, like, even their previous champions. You don't see Kobe Covington in anything. You don't see Usman in anything. You don't see any of their fighters in anything. You don't see Stipe in anything anymore. You don't see Tom Aspinall in anything. Tom Aspinall's up and coming. Young person, dude. You don't see him in any of the advertising. They're not even in the Tom Aspinall business. Tom Aspinall, nothing there. Islam, nothing there. Nothing there. And Dana's always been that way. He never promoted Nurmagomedov. He never promoted the Diaz brothers. He never promoted Nate Diaz. Oh, hell yeah. Tom Aspinall, good-looking guy, young, English, charismatic, talented. You could sell him anywhere. You could sell it, put him in a commercial with Kevin Holland, right? Put him in a commercial with somebody here. He could sell here even though he's English. Young, good-looking, well-spoken, no fucking issues, doesn't beat up anybody, isn't fucking on cocaine, isn't beating up old men and spitting on people. I just did a piece. Go look at it on the weirdo MMA people, right? Yeah, easy name to remember. Tom Aspinall, great name. Like, they're not into it, right? Like, if you look at it's just the way Dana does it. Like, you're 100% correct, right? He doesn't do anything, right? Pieta, Duplessis. He doesn't promote Duplessis. Bilal Muhammad, Islam, Ilia Topuria. Great opportunity there. Good-looking guy. You could promote it to Spain and to Europe, Eastern Europe. They don't promote him. Pantoja. You don't hear shit about Alejandro Pantoja. You don't hear shit about Alan Pantoja. Shit, Julia Pena, nothing. Shevchenko, Weili, nothing. Nothing. None of them. None of them. I get it. Pantoja is going to be hard to promote. Doesn't speak English, right? Ilya Tapori speaks enough English; they could promote him in Europe. Why aren't we promoting in Europe? It's a market. Nope. Why are we promoting in Africa? It's a market. South Africa, rest of the market. Du Plessis, nope, in nothing. He is not promoting any of our champions. He's not promoting any of them. None of them have a place, including the like. To be quite honest, he's not even promoting Sean O'Malley, which is disgraceful. Like even his best potential fighter that could pay him money, he doesn't promote. You know why? Because Sean O'Malley has proved he doesn't need Dana in the UFC, and Dana hates that. Dana hates that he's making. He says he plays like, oh, I want him to be more like O'Malley, make his own money, make his own brand, and do it. No, he doesn't. He hates. He resents Sean O'Malley's success. And you know how I know it? Is it because Sean O'Malley is not in any of the UFC's marketing stuff. He doesn't have them with Monster Energy. He doesn't have them in Modelo beer commercial. He doesn't have them in Progressive Insurance. He doesn't have them in insurance commercials. He doesn't have them in anything that promotes or that any of the sponsors of the UFC has. Toyo Tires, none of it. Right? Doesn't have any of it. So it is what it is there. Well, hey, Leon, I appreciate this chat. I'm going to drop off now, guys, because I have to use the washroom, and I've killed my hour's worth of time. That's all I really try to go for on these lives now if I'm not smoking a cigar. But if you made it this far, you are about better. I appreciate everybody getting in. Great discussion here today, and that's why I enjoy still going on. So, Leon, hit the notification bell. Love to have you chatting about sci-fi, the fight business, because that's what we're normally talk about. But everything else is fun, too. Everything's on the table, guys. Really appreciate everybody that comes in or that listens to this stuff. Have a great evening. Stay safe. Stay warm. And if you've made it this far, you are about better.